Now, here's something you probably don't know about Orlando East, Soweto, unless you're from there or a neighboring township. Turns out it's called Soweto. No, it's called London. Yes, London. The two-room shack I grew up in, house number 1138, Orlando East, Soweto, is squarely situated in London. Let me take you back to my childhood. It's summertime, and I'm listening to Saturday night tunes on Metro FM with Ernest Pillay on the radio. He is killing it with the summer's hits. As I listen, he's playing Brenda Fassie, I'm no Weekend Special. Weekend Special wasn't just a song, it was an anthem to my youth. Oh, and then there's Joy, whose Paradise Road at once gives a promise of a brighter future and an affirmation of my wildest dreams. You know, and the lead singer, Annelien Malebu, whose voice seems to whisper, everything is going to be all right. You see, music wasn't entertainment in my home. It was my life. My father, my dear father Sam, he made his living from music. My father and his partners would put together shows that would bring together the residents of Mamelodi and Soweto face to face with the icons of their time. Oh yes, those were the days. But let me take you back to Ernest Pillay. You see, as I listen to the colorful tracks of Joy and Brenda Fassie, I make it a point to have the cassette in the radio, ready to record the songs played. But I must remember to promptly stop the recording as soon as the DJ starts talking. That's the technology that allowed me to access music back in the day. Today, they call it piracy. But back then, that was the only way I knew how to access music. Obviously, nobody had money to buy the cassette from the real music shop. If we could do that, why were we living in a shack? Come on now. These were the days of Makaplan. Eat loaf brown and authentic rooibos South African herbal tea for dinner. Oh, yes. Now, let me tell you about my London. If there was one thing that was consistent about my London, was that it had danger, community spirit, and Ubuntu in equal measure. And so it would be that one evening, my mother would ask my sister to go to the spaza shop to buy loaf brown for dinner. Loaf brown is brown bread for those of you who are lost. My sister walked to the spaza shop situated 2 streets away from our shack. On arrival, she was met by a boy who tried to chat her up. Understand, when we lived in London, we were constantly harassed by boys who thought they had the right to touch us, approach us, and demand our attention. We had at least been trained to just say, hello, just so that the boy would go away. For some strange reason, hello did not work this time for my sister. Instead, my sister was grabbed and forcefully pulled towards this privileged boy who had told himself that he would get what he wanted from my sister and he would reach his state of nirvana. Translated, my sister was grabbed, screaming and shouting, to his place for him to jackroll her. Jackroll, ladies and gentlemen, is rape. That day, the music in my heart and in my home died. when my sister was taken, there was no mobile device or app with buttons that we could press in a moment of distress. There was no way of tracking her location. She was out there somewhere, distressed, paralyzed by fear. And I, like the rest of my family, felt helpless. And this is why I am an absolute advocate for all things fourth industrial revolution. And it's not the technology that is important to me, rather the promise of what it brings to young girls like my sister. The fact that it can keep them safe from predators, like the one who took my sister at the spaza shop. Had my sister been taken today, I would have had a mobile device to track her location, a 360 live app, Find My Device, GPS, family and safety to track her whereabouts. Today, there is a response alert app that is helping families find loved ones and save them. The fourth industrial revolution is here to save lives. One of the things I love doing dearly is reading. One of the books I turn to time and again is by an author called Salim Ismail, whose views on innovation and the fourth industrial revolution I find absolutely invaluable. In my personal life, and in my hunger for a safer South Africa, I've experienced how the fourth industrial revolution can bring about opportunities that can actually have profound change in my London and in my South Africa. I want to play my part in harnessing the power of fourth industrial revolution technologies to prevent incidents like the one that happened to my sister. I recently discovered Namola, an app described as the leading safety app for women that assists women to get access to emergency assistance at the press of a button. When my sister was taken, that wasn't there. In my professional life, I have now discovered and seen how the power of technology is radically reshaping economies, communities, disrupting businesses, industries, and introducing new operating models. But it cannot be that the power of disruption from these technologies is only available to those big companies or those with deep pockets. It cannot be. This is why I ask myself, how can this new technology bring change and new opportunities to the people of my London, my Soweto? Because this has to be my fourth industrial revolution too. Salim Ismail talks about if we do not understand the power of exponential technology and we do not embrace innovation and change, we will be disrupted. What do the people in my London need? They need jobs, access to food security, healthcare, energy, safety, and entertainment. And this is where the fourth industrial revolution is important, because it can and will change the lives of my people in my London. Food safety and food security is an issue in Africa and in my London. With the newly launched hydro farming awareness solution, farmers can track all aspects of their farming, and they can monitor how much water they use, how much livestock they have, track their feed, water usage, machinery. All of this I am extremely excited about, because I want to use this innovation to change my circumstances, my family's circumstances, the people in my London. I'm also excited about this because I don't want to rely on loaf brown for dinner and rooibos tea. I don't want to feel distressed again. Distressed. The feeling that ripped through me when my sister was taken. I was 14 years old, crying, fearful, and lost. But with this fourth industrial revolution, my aunt CCO in Orlando East, house number 1138, can use the mobile smartphone I bought her to check her blood pressure and to check her sugar level. She can also rely on me to order an Uber or a Taxify to get her to the clinic. I know she often runs out of money for taxi fare, and she doesn't tell me. But with the fourth industrial revolution, she can rely on me to order the Uber or Taxify and get the kids to school. There will be no more women walking to a taxi rank in winter in the dead, dark blackness of Soweto in my London. So what are we going to do? Are the people in my London going to embrace the fourth industrial revolution? How are you and me participating? How are we preparing ourselves for this fourth industrial revolution? I am part of a movement that is making sure that tech is all inclusive. And my sister, though shaken, scared, traumatized, was returned to us unharmed. That evening, my parents took a decision to move us out of my London, and they moved us to the leafy suburb of Saxonwold in Johannesburg. That evening, I became a fighter. I became a leader. I became a feminist. And I could hear the music slowly coming back. It was faint and in the background, but I could hear it fighting to light up my fire. I am choosing the power of technology to change my life and the life of the community I come from in Orlando, Soweto. I am choosing this fourth industrial revolution because I want it to return the original music that I love so dearly of Brenda Fassie, oh, and Joy's Paradise Road. This is my fourth industrial revolution.